Aloha. This is Hope Johnson with Wisdom Dialogues coming to you from Hawaiian Paradise Park on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Yay! I'm so happy to be here with you. My favorite thing is to be in association with the truth. And it's even more fun when people join me in that. And here comes Anne too, speaking of people joining me in that. I don't know how long it's been since I got started without you. It was so awkward. Oh my gosh. You brought stuff to hang? Oh, you're so sweet. That might work out. Thank you. I'm on. I just snorted up some bugs. That was awesome. Yeah, I know they're for maximum healing potential, so it's perfect. And you guys, that's really how everything is, or how it can be, because you are the one deciding whether things that you seem to see are actually meaningful or not. See, it's like you're always getting a reaction to the things that you seem to see, and you don't have to accept that as your reality because you've obviously made a mistake. You've gone down the wrong path and you found yourself there. See, in that you can acknowledge what seems to be without an emotional reaction. That's basically wisdom. Because you're not accepting it as your reality. You're just acknowledging what seems to be, or you could say observing what seems to be, even not even acknowledging, because I don't know what that implies. Maybe you have to say something about it. But, just to observe, okay, this is what seems to be, but it's not actually what is. So my reacting to it as if it's reality is the means for undoing the illusion of it. See, whatever it happens to be, anything that seems to displease you is one of those opportunities, because it's bringing up a feeling that you already have harbored within your body sense, you could say. It's harbored within the mind and projected onto the body sense. It's bringing those things up, whatever it is, whatever circumstances that you think is bad or anything. Even, applying it to like food, saying that's junk food or something like that, or I ate junk food or something. When you're just willing to see that you are projecting that reality for yourself, and it's all projection here. It's all dreaming. So it's not a matter of trying to decide what you want your projection to be and making it that. It's only in willingness to use the projection as it seems. That's, the projection is the projection as it seems to be, but taking care of the upset feelings in reaction to that. See, those upset feelings are given you so that you can dive beneath that surface level of defensiveness and retraction from this thing, and just dive beneath it into the feeling. What you don't need to do is follow any of the thoughts about it. That the thoughts are trying to work it out. They're trying to make sense of the world. Okay, you're never going to make any sense of the world, and whatever sense you think you already made of the world is complete ignorance. If you think that you made sense out of anything, that is ignorance, because everything that's being perceived is totally upside down and backwards from what your reality is. So it's completely given you to prove that you're really separate and that you are gonna die, because you look around and you see people going on a trajectory towards death. You can't go on a trajectory toward death without having a suicidal thought, which, you just nurture throughout your whole life, because you would get a perception of people dying. If they don't die before they're old, they die of old age, we say, but no one really gets old. There's not even a thing like that. We perceive aging because of the suicide thought. It's made only to project back to us, reflect back to us what we wanted to believe about ourselves. So now when we're reacting, and we're always reacting to that perception, anytime we get the perception that someone looks old or sick, or we are noticing aging signs in ourselves, anytime we're observing something like that, we're freaking reacting. There's a body sense that we made that's reacting to that. See, so that reaction is the means for healing the perception, and that's what's given us to do. That's basically our function, is to just deny any truth to the evidence that's given us, evidence of nothing, so that we can calm down and have relief. We need relief in the body sense. The body sense is mind projected, so it's still a mental release, right? But it's released in the body sense, because it seems like we are in a body. It seems like that's the body sense. That's a body sense. That's what I'm talking about. The body sense is a projected sense. And it seems like we are in a body. We're propping that up with our belief whenever we pursue a thought that says this is a reality. And we choose to pursue thoughts because we think they will save us. They think they will help us with the upset feeling. This is exactly why we adopt what we think are healthy eating habits, okay? Because we think we're going to avoid an upset feeling if we get the right nutrients. We actually have no idea. None of that stuff means anything. It makes no sense. It actually makes no sense like that. When you're looking at like nutrients and how they affect the body and stuff like that, it actually doesn't even make any sense. Everyone has their own idea of what they think works, and that changes for everyone all the time. Look at that. Well, how long will we keep on going for that stupidity? It's stupid. It's like you're given in the moment exactly what you should eat. You just know. You're given, but it's like we've been trained to block off what the inner guidance is in favor of concepts about what's good, what's bad, what's right. Those concepts, they can take care of themselves. There doesn't need to be judgment about it. They're not a problem either. So I'm not saying it's a problem to go on a diet or to follow a particular regimen about it. Look, it's the dogma part. It's the mental part where you're saying, oh, this is the right one. And you're giving the power to heal you to food or to some kind of substance or something like that. Nothing has that kind of power. Only your mind does. That doesn't mean you can't you don't have a choice in it, but you can't get the perception that you're eating a healthy diet. You might get the perception that you're eating a healthy diet. Just don't take it to be meaningful at all. That's all it is. And the projections, like you're going to get sick if you eat the wrong foods, you're going to get fat if you eat the wrong foods. Just notice that those are projections. All you have to do is notice that they're projections. You don't even have to try and stop projecting, because projecting is just a thought occurring to you. So if you don't pursue it, you're not projecting over that thought to continue the projection, right? But if you don't pursue the thought, it's going to die out. It's going to burn out. It's not going to get, it's not going to get the kind of energy it needs to perpetuate and come back with the same kind of strength. It's going to come back again and again until you recognize it, and it's just funny to you. You're just like, oh, I would rather have peace instead of that thought. Simple. So it just becomes more and more simple. Okay. Yay, Anne's here. Okay. Lori said that. Nael, hi, Hope. I was remembering the dark ages when you took a break from Wisdom Dialogue. So glad you're back. Oh, that's so great. Thank you, Nael. Oh, thank you. Okay, so someone, Muhammad. Aloha, Muhammad. Thank you for joining. The thoughts are what cause the upset feelings. So it's a projection that the us, that the US, okay, puts so much crap in its flour that Italian flour doesn't. Yes, exactly. That's why there's no reason to feel threatened by it. You see? There's no reason to feel threatened by it. That's the thing. It's like, okay, you get the perception that it's like this. You're like, oh, I'm not interested in that. You get the perception that, oh, I'm not interested in that. You get the perception of that. It's all conditioning playing out. So in that perception, then there's a perception of, oh, well, what flour is there any flour in the world that doesn't have those, what are they called? Enrichment. It's enrichment. It's all these vitamin things, which I was just like, okay, that looks like poison. And that's the playing out. That's the playing out of it. That doesn't need to concern me. Like, the thing about it is, I don't need to be threatened by it. I don't need to be threatened by that. If I don't think I see any flour that doesn't have that kind of stuff in it, then there will be a different thing. Either I'll eat the other flour. I don't know what will occur, but these are just stories and plays playing out. And when I'm talking about stuff like that, I know it's easeful. Like say I'm at the Tin Shack. I was at the Tin Shack last Friday. I got a bagel and some stuff. I know they don't even use organic flour there. They did a poll and asked people if they wanted to pay $1 more for everything with organic flour, and more people said no than yes. Here in Pahoa, it's fun, huh? And I just eat the thing. I know it doesn't mean anything. I don't know it doesn't have any meaning. So it's not like I'm feeling like I have to take the bread off or something like that. It's just like, it doesn't have any meaning to me. And at the same time, I could find myself leaning toward what I seem to believe is the healthier option. And that's just okay with me. It's like either way, I don't have to manage my behavior in a certain way, or what I seem to do, or what I seem to go for, only just in using the perception to see that we're making it all up. So whenever we feel threatened by a thing, we can dive into that and be released from that illusion. See, we can just be released from it. And so that makes it so, if I find myself eating flour, you could even apply it to vaccinations. Okay, I'd probably never find myself voluntarily. I say probably because I never know for sure, voluntarily taking a vaccine. Let's say all of a sudden I was somehow found myself taking a vaccine. Who knows what the situation is? Somehow found myself taking a vaccine. I would deny all meaning to that. Just deny the meaning that was given to it. And even in this instance, I deny meaning to all vaccination effects that people think they see. That is not meaningful. It's not really from the vaccination. It's fear. Same thing with eating gluten. It's fear. If you get gluten intolerance, it's fear. It's not a sign that you should eat a bunch of gluten and make yourself have that reaction a bunch of times. It's not a sign of that. All it is a sign of is it's an opportunity for you to to act like according to your function, and see that what you're projecting is not the reality. That's all. It's so simple like that. It's kind of like I project the illusion also that shit is stinky, right? And it's like, do you want that? It's just an illusion. It smells stinky. Do you want it on your table? It's like, those things just play out like that. And that's what the ego is really afraid of. Like, if you see that this is all an illusion, you'll just find yourself doing everything that that fucks you up. And that, that's true. A lot of people go through that because they'll tempt the ego. It's called tempting the ego. So let's say your conditioning is, and your experience has been, that you get a reaction every time you eat gluten. You get a gluten intolerance kind of reaction. Okay. Let's say, let's say that you go, well, I know this is an illusion. It's just my mind projecting it. So I'm going to keep eating gluten until it goes away. That's only going to serve to make you more fearful. A lot of people try this in a lot of different ways. Like they'll just deny, but it's a way that they're denying themselves. They're not really denying truth to the illusion, because they're using it in order to prove, trying to use the illusion to prove that the illusion isn't true. So you don't want to use the illusion to prove that it's not true, because that's how you're going to really cause yourself a bunch of fear. The way I see people play this out is they might like go, oh, this means I could just eat all this bacon, and then they'll like eat a bunch of bacon, and then they'll feel like shit. Maybe they'll like come to a disease point or something like that, and they'll like, damn, I believed that I couldn't be harmed by the bacon. Then I ate all this bacon, and then look, I was harmed. That's one of the games we play. We don't really have a choice in whether we eat all the bacon, but we go on that thought process like we're gonna, okay, now that I have this power with my mind, I could use this power to just make all of these beliefs that I made up disappear right now, and show it. I could prove it. What you end up proving is that the illusion is true. You end up proving to yourself that the illusion is true. So it's not a matter of trying to change your behavior in the illusion. It's a matter of seeing through what's being presented to you in the moment. You're going to be made to live a life, so to speak. So, you're still playing out your regular conditioning. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know how to drive a car or anything. It's just like the conditioning is taking care of the life. So let's just look at it like that. And then as far as what you're here to do, your function, that just has to do with seeing through every illusion that you make. And that's why the illusions are coming to you. When it comes to my friends, I know they like it when a lot of them like it when their food is in alignment with what they take to be healthy and unhealthy. And that's perfect. It's totally good. You don't have to, again, try to tempt the ego. You just watch what you do. You don't have a choice in what you eat. You don't have a choice in that. That's where we screw ourselves. We don't really have a choice in what we eat. It's just that when we do find ourselves eating that doesn't seem to be in alignment with our conditioning, and or we get effects that seem to be related to the food, that's where the illusion is. That's where we're denying truth to that, because that food didn't cause the effect. That food didn't cause the effect. You see what I mean? How it's a little bit of a tricky thing right there, because it's the ego's guidance to go ahead and test that out. Oh yeah, you think you think you could just eat whatever you want then, huh? Go ahead and do all this stuff, whatever. But no, with regard to the Italian flour, I will say this about it: it tastes way better. It does. It makes such a big difference. It tastes way better. It's amazing how I can project such a change in taste between one with I didn't know it had the I didn't know that was the case at first. It's just that I noticed that the flour, like, it's not that appealing to me. Like, it's okay, but I'm not eating it as often. When I make my own bread, I find myself eating it a bunch. So then that, shows that, oh, Hope's enjoying her bread. See? And I know all the people who have tasted my bread, they're like, how the heck do you get bread so good? Italian flour, I say. But I'm sure my mind just made a trick. And at the same time, how am I going to relate with people if I can't answer a question, a simple question? See? So it's like you're observing all the time that that's not true. That's not true. So then there's nothing to attach yourself to. There's nothing to get hung up on. There's nothing to become defensive about. It just kind of plays out in a nice flow and healing all along the way on the table. Yeah. Crap on the table. That's the name of the show. It's kind of like that though. It's like, yeah, I mean, it seems like I live a life. It seems like I make a bunch of choices, and it may even seem like I'm kind of opinionated, not big time, but like I'm off of my opinion in a second as soon as someone becomes defensive. I'm like, oh, never mind. I retract that one. Right. The main thing is that you're just able to be playful with the illusion, whatever it seems to be, however you seem to be expressing, because none of it really means anything. And we're always triggering each other's wounds. So when we come together and someone asks me, do you believe that falling in love is a thing? Like, then even really fall in love like that. Well, when we come together and our patterns play together and the wounds arise and we have the wall between us, like the kind of like this emotional wall or ego patterned wall between us, and we see through that together. That's where the magic of relating is. That's communicating, just that willingness, really, just that willingness to see through that what we're holding right now is completely meaningless. If we're not playing and having fun and enjoy, then whatever we're talking about, whatever we're doing, it's completely meaningless. And it's not getting us anywhere if we're carrying that kind of vibration as we force ourselves forward along that kind of trudgery thought stream. It's like trudgery. It's like, why do I have to do this? Will someone just kill me already? And I love Facebook for one. It shows like the back and forth, like how the mind kind of like fluctuates back and forth. Like you'll see one person on the verge of suicide one day, right? And they're open about it, which is great. They just posted on Facebook they're on the verge of suicide. The whole world sucks. It's totally victimized them. It's done all this shit to them. And then the next week or days or hours or whatever, it's all about how great the life is and how, radiant and strong and beautiful they are. And I see this kind of fluctuation, not for everyone, but for definitely certain friends. And it's really interesting because it just shows you there's no one out there. There's no one there. It's revealing how insane the mind is. It's an insane mind. There's not and that's because there's not this oversight that can say, this too shall pass. See, it's like these swings, these highs and lows. I'm on a high now. Everything's great for me. I'm vibrantly healthy and this and that. And then you get a sniffle or something or a sore throat. And then what? And then it's crash. Or someone says something mean to you, or someone told you look old. That's a good one. Someone told you look older. And then all of a sudden your day just went right. That doesn't have to go down for you like that. That really doesn't have to go down for you. You choose whether or not you're going to make that thought, the one that's up right now, meaningful to you right now. You don't look like anything. You don't actually look like anything. So you look like anything. That's just a laughable comment. It's just fun. Thank you. Thanks for making me a part of your dream. Hope, you look like a horse's ass. Thank you for making me a part of your dream. I love you. Hope, you are one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Thank you for making me part of your dream. I love you. See, it's the same. For me, it's the same. But what I see is there will be some kind of hook, something will hook. And then all of a sudden it's down. So Watch the upswing. Watch the upswing because the downswing is coming. That's really, that blows the ego's mind too. When you get see your pattern in the upswing is to believe in it. And like, this is permanent now. I'm never going back to that person I was 5 minutes ago. Right? This is the new me. This is the new reality. It'll blow the ego's mind when you just take that thought to the truth. This too shall pass. Okay? Because the peace that you are seeking, that which you are, doesn't change. It's not changeful, and it is certainly not dependent on circumstances. In fact, that's really where the rubber hits the road. Okay? When peace meets circumstance that seem to require non-peace to get through. When that occurs, when peace meets that circumstance that seems to require non-peace, that blows the ego's mind too. It's like, you can sense it. It's visceral. So look for a visceral sense of holy shit. It's like, boom, The ego will mess with you though, and make you think like you got it, especially if you're talking about the body sense. If you're basing your happiness on how you think you feel, that is passing. That is passing. Okay. The only thing that can make you happy is salvation, which is extending love, which must be offered continually to keep you happy. Okay. Whenever you have a lapse on that, you go into unhappiness. It's not like you just do it once and then you hang out there. It's not like that, because there's always those thought projections that are going to try to hook you into pursuing them. And there's going back and forth is very common. Going back and forth, going into the darkness. Just look, whenever you find yourself going into the darkness, meaning an upset feeling or one of those moods that last you like weeks or something like that, rest assured that you're coming out with gifts, because the thing is, you're making it all up. And if you're calling it something that harmed you, or calling it something that's bad for you, then it will present itself as that, because you're basically saying that's what I want. So when you find yourself on the downswing, gratitude is very, very appropriate there. It's really, it'll really change the way that downswing works for you. Okay. It's not, none of it's really up or down anyways. It's all just learning. It feels like down because it's challenging. It's challenging to the ego. Okay. Which you made for reacting. That's the same as, your inner child. You could say you and the ego made your inner child. It's a child of misled mind and the ego. And it needs compassion for that. It's innocent. Well, it's not really innocent. It's not innocent or guilty. It's neither one, because it just doesn't exist. But, in your dream, it requires compassion from you to feel good. Okay. The good feeling in the body sense that is upheld by the mind is always fleeting. But the good feeling that comes from knowing who you are, you can have your arm cut off, and it's bleeding like a mofo, and you could still have that. See, I know you probably don't believe me on that right now, but it does manifest in your mind with just a little bit of willingness to lean into it. Take little things. Take little things like, say, your boss just yelled at you and you've got an emotional sensation up, and it's kind of like, how can I possibly be at peace with having to work for this fucking asshole? That's where you got the opportunity. because that upset feeling is demonstrating that you made a mistake in how you're looking at it. You're not seeing your boss as the holy Son of God and the one bearing a gift. You're seeing him as someone in your separate world, like he's actually your boss. The boss is a role. There's no boss. That's why my friend was like, why do I feel like I love this person, but I'm not in love with this person? It's like you're not infatuated. You're not into infatuation anymore. So it's all the same. You grow in love with people as you get to know them, because of seeing through illusions with them. You can grow in love, and you can also grow in sourness. That's how a lot of people do it. Grow in sourness. grow in separation until you can't stand each other anymore. So it's like it's all one. And the ones that you are in special relationship with, meaning you have certain roles like husband and wife, mother and son, or something like that. The ones that you're in relationship, you grow in love with them because you're interacting with them and you're communicating through your interactions. You're not just interacting through projecting, you're communicating through your interactions. That's how you grow in love. It's not the same like what people call falling in love. That's more like infatuation. That's always going to shift and become something else. You're going to feel like you were betrayed. Okay. Whenever you go into the infatuation kind love and believe that is love, that is a reality for you. That's something that's a reality. Look, none of these relationships are really special relationships. We only make them into special relationships for the play. Okay. It's kind of like the same. You could say I have a special relationship with Italian flour. Okay. So it's similar like that. It's just bringing it in for the play. I don't have a choice in which ones I am with. Like, if I get the sense that, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if I should stay with my partner or not, that's like none of my business. Like that can just, that thought system can just, that thought trajectory could just work itself out without my interference. Because what I know is that whoever I'm interacting with right now is the one I need to interact with, because that interaction has maximal healing potential for both of us and for everyone, because there's only one of us. So isn't that so fun? Thank you, Cora. I love you. Ah. It occurred to me today that I had a lot of shit to do. That was awesome. I had a dynamic Zoom call with a FedEx marketing expert, and I was super impressed by how much information they had and how much research they did on our company. And they had all this data, and they're like, here's all the things. You have a great website. Here's all the things that will help you get more traffic and more whatever. So I ended up with a list that's like 15 deep, all these different projects of things I can do. And, there's all these different projects of things I can do already stacked up. Right. And, I'm certain that it's not, well, I'm not 100% certain. Otherwise I'd see through it, but I'm pretty certain that's not a reality. Like, this world is not a reality. I'm fairly certain that this world is not a reality. I'm certain that I will see it at some point and then be 100% certain. Let's say that. I will see all the way through it, and see the rays of light within everyone. Thought I went on do not disturb there. Yeah, I am, but I guess that doesn't work. All right. So when it occurs to me, I have a lot of things to do, immediately what my attention does is go to my posture. That's what I noticed today. It just immediately went to my posture because it's just it's so interesting how my mind holds my body positioned in the field when there seems to be a lot of things to do. It's just really interesting. And you know, I'm watching from the toes to the top of my head, like how, like what position. It's not like I'm trying to make the position a certain way. No, it's not like that. It's just that I'm noticing what the position is it's being held in. What kind of position is it? Like what I'll notice is the legs may be locked. There might be a locked knee, or there might be a shoulder or something like that. And all I'll do is just like relax and feel whatever I feel. Notice how I'm holding myself in the alignment that I'm holding myself. And you know, the spirit just speaks to me. Just like that's just how it's let in. That's how that subtle voice is let in. And it's just so kind too. It's like, Hope, you know, you don't have to do any of this stuff. There's no hurry, you know. Take as much rest time and personal time as you feel inclined. And you know, I don't even have a choice in what I seem to choose to do, but I do have a choice in whether I will allow myself relaxation. And see, that's just the difference between pursuing a thought about how I have a bunch of stuff to do, or letting it just rest so it can just work itself out. See, I can only know what I need to do in the moment. And that has nothing to do with the world, because it all has to do with whatever is the reaction. Whatever is the reaction to the world, not what I'm doing in the world, apparently. It's only a play there. I don't have a choice in it. We're all pretending like we have a choice in that. Why did you do that, for instance? Why did you spend so much money, for instance? I was going for that dopamine hit. That's what it all is. It's like, I don't know, it might be called different chemicals. That's the one that popped in my mind. But that's what it all is. Everything. It's chemicals, chemicals interacting, which chemicals aren't even real. It's mind projecting. In the illusory sense, it's these chemicals, you know, when science looks into it, it's these chemicals that are driving everything. The chemicals are projected by the mind. How the fuck are you going to be responsible for whatever you do? Same thing with accountability. Accountability comes from a judgment that you could have made a decision to do something. It's like you're going to be accountable for something that you cannot possibly do. Right? And whenever you project that someone else should be accountable, I don't care if they're a government official or anything. Whenever you project that someone else should be held accountable, you have condemned yourself. Okay? Because you have no choice, you have no say in whatever you perceive yourself to do. And as long as you're projecting that judgment is possible like that, you're capable of casting judgment. Judgment comes upon you. That's just how it goes. You're going to be made to do the very things. People ask, you know, how could that politician who was so against prostitution, how could that politician who is so against prostitution actually be buying prostitutes and get busted with prostitutes? You know, it's like, this is perfect projection, because we can't help it. Whatever we condemn, we become. That's how it goes. So watch that. Look at it in relation to the food thing now. Look at it in relation to that. Let's say you are a vegan. Let's use vegan today. I use all different things. I'm not trying to pick on any group. But let's use veganism today. Okay, say you're a vegan. And then you see people eating meat and you're thinking they're killing themselves by eating meat. Guess what? You are killing yourself by pursuing that thought. You're killing yourself. You're literally eating death. Okay. Every bite is like eating death when you're casting judgment. And you can't really cast judgment, but you can believe that you can. And in believing it, your mind is so powerful that it'll project that judgment right onto you. Okay. Because your mind isn't really aware of others. You're dreaming that. There's no others, there's only you. You can't project outside of your own mind. So if you make it so that, let's say, a person smokes 50 cigarettes a day is ruining their health, you just condemned your body to death. Okay, so just take a look at that. I mean, you don't have to take that hard. You've been doing that for millions of years, condemning your body to death over and over again. Okay, it's kind of funny, it's comical. Notice when you're condemning your body to death, and over time, you'll stop having an appetite for that. Okay, it's a really unhealthy appetite. It's the only kind of unhealthy appetite you can have. And the funny thing is, when we're going through something like that, when we're going through a judgmental mindset, and make no mistake, this is a sickness, this is an illness. Okay, to go through a judgmental mindset, thinking we can cast judgment, like we're capable of casting judgment, and convincing other people that if they eat the wrong foods, they're going to kill themselves. Or if they go in the sun, they're going to wrinkle their skin. We are making this shit up. There's nothing we can do to help or harm ourselves. Nothing is healthy for us or unhealthy except the thoughts we agree to make real. Those are healthy or harmful for us. Now, we're in a play. So we're going to have a perception of certain things playing out. When the mind is in a healthy state, it's going to be playing out healthy looking illusions, whatever. That's different for everyone, because this is personal when it comes to that. It's like you seem to have an attraction to food that seems to have a good feeling effect, rather than being attracted to food that seems to have a bad feeling effect. See, you're making those illusions for yourself, and you're also driving yourself in one direction or another, depending on which guide you're following and which effect you need. See? So it's not in the food, and you use the food as a means to make effects seem real. So it's just a matter of, it comes to the simplest thing, just releasing any judgment. And when I say releasing, here's how it is. There's an upset feeling reacting to that judgment, because your mind knows that it's being judged. It knows it's being judged. It's like your inner child is being judged. Whenever you seem to be projecting judgment on another person, your inner child knows that it's being judged in that moment. There is reacting. Okay, there's reacting in the body sense. Let yourself feel that. That'll give you the insight and bring on the wisdom that you need to forgive your illusions. This is forgiveness right here. Okay, you get the sense that someone eats meat and therefore they're what? They're angry, they're this, whatever your story is. Okay, and then you're willing to go, wait a minute, I'm making that up. That's forgiveness. It's really that simple. I'm willing to see that doesn't feel nice. Notice what feels good to you and what doesn't. That doesn't feel nice. We use substances, food, TV, whatever, to give ourselves a sense that we feel good, instead of looking in and noticing how we feel. So earlier today, I was having a split, and it was already sitting out there, and I was going to relight it, and all of a sudden I had a really upset feeling manifest, and so I put it down before lighting it, because it's like, that's not what I want right now. I have an upset feeling manifesting. So the upset feeling manifesting brought me into that space. And every time I get an upset feeling manifesting, I'm happy about it, because I'm seeing through something. And then once I'm in the space of peace, then I feel like the spliff. right? I'm not trying to use it to avoid an uncomfortable feeling. That isn't interesting to me. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. And it took me some time to see that. And I'm sure I'm going to see more through it. That's why I seem to still be smoking spliffs. That's the only reason I would be. It's to see through more of this delusion, more of these things that everyone projects on themselves about things being wrong, about being unworthy, about whatever thoughts, all kinds of thoughts. And that's what every single thing that we seem to do, we seem to be drawn to, is for. See? And so it's like, well, what do I, there's a thought like, oh, this is gonna mess you up or mess your body up or something like that. And it's like, what do I care what becomes of this body? What do I care what becomes of it? See, and then at the same time, it seems like I do care. In addition to spliffs, there's a lot of other stuff. It depends who you are. You could be a person that goes, "Oh, you smoke spliffs, you definitely don't care at all." And then to other people, "Oh, well, you do that, but you do all this other stuff too." So, it's just it's just like, what do I care what becomes of it? Just let it become whatever it needs to be. It will do that anyways. It'll just become whatever it needs to be. Like, leave it alone. Yes, my love, you're on, Asana. You have to unmute. I just digitally asked you to do that. Every once in a while, I just sniff a bug. It's good stuff. All right, we'll go to.
Hi there.
Oh, okay. Aloha.
Aloha.
What's happening with you today? What's on your mind?
Oh, let's see what's on my mind. I'm feeling really good, really high tonight, actually, today.
Oh, yeah?
Feeling my I am presence.
Okay.
Today, spending time with myself.
Okay.
So that's been good.
Fabulous.
Yeah, but I got real triggered today again, too.
Why do you say it like that? Do you notice your tone?
Yeah, I guess, because it's like when you think things are going really great, you're humming along, and then comes this trigger.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I say.
Well, check it out. Check it out, okay? The triggers are just part of it.
Okay.
It's part of a good day.
All right.
It makes the day even better.
I know it's my perception that's screwed up.
Well, look, because it's right now, and when you're talking about it, you have a certain tone. Do you notice that tone?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gentleness with that tone.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a kid that's like,
yeah, for sure.
Right. So so you just recognize that's the tone and allow there to be gentleness with that tone, because you're resisting it is causing it to be a pain in the ass for you. That's all it is.
All right.
Yeah, because there's no gratitude for it. There's no gratitude for that. So
okay.
Yeah. So take it to the block.
Okay. And I was going to do that this week, but I don't know what I did with my yoga. I have a yoga mat with the blocks in there thing when I used to do that stuff. And
that's hilarious. I love it. It's
I have to dig it out, but the intention is there, maybe this week.
Well, you don't have a choice in it.
No, I don't. So if I find myself doing it, I go, oh, that Hope. She told me I didn't have any choice.
That's
Here
right.
I am. Ouch, this hurts.
It doesn't, it doesn't hurt nearly as much as the emotional pain, and it's like there's this habit of stuff. See that? And got it. See that? Again, the tone. See?
Yeah, right.
Isn't that great? It's just it's just a sense like
I used to be very sarcastic. all the time. And I loved it
Perfect.
when people would play with me with that. And then I realized a few years ago, it came to my awareness that it's not a good thing to do,
What is that?
because being sarcastic, because you're usually using human conditions and making fun of um, some um, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a way of,
It's like you're making
hiding
fun of
contempt.
what you don't want,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah,
contempt. It's holding people in contempt.
yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, it's basically, yeah, it's the same as judgment. You're just holding people in contempt and kind of using irony around that.
Right.
So
Well, and thinking that it's funny.
yeah, and thinking that it's funny, but it's not really funny because it's like it's hurting you, and so no one's really laughing.
Right. Yeah, right,
It
for
seems
sure.
like it is, right? Yeah,
Except for
so
other people that like to play in that game.
yeah, well, those other
There
people
are
are actually reflecting our mind when we get a perception of them.
ourselves. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so we're getting a
true.
yeah, so they're giving us an opportunity to see with
Oh,
to look with compassion,
yes, for
right?
sure.
And
Yeah.
that's how it is for me. You can probably imagine the things that I say. I get people coming up and trying to be sarcastic with me and stuff like that. And I just smile at them and thank them, and I go like, "That's
Right.
awesome," I'll high five them or something.
Right, right. Yeah, you're no fun at all.
I'm not fun for it, but yeah, well, and here's one of the things one of my friends reflected back to me. He just said, "There's just no competition, is there?" And I said, "No, there's not." That's the thing. There's just no competition here. It's like,
Right.
it's like it's okay with me if you think I'm an idiot and you make sarcastic jokes about me. It's like I think it's funny, and that's not a problem for me. Am I probably going to be attracted to hanging out with you? Probably not. And I see how I so don't have a choice in it. I know I brought up maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. There was this one friend of mine who was acting sarcastic. Apparently, I know I made him that way, and he goes, and I realized, wow, I don't feel attracted to that anymore. And it's not like I had to say I don't want to hang out with you anymore at any point. The whole thing just kind of just like it just went like we just like didn't even like make a point to go separate ways. We just happened to be separate ways. I don't know how to say it real clear, but it wasn't anything that had to be worked on at all. It's just like I can always tell when the trajectory is changing. Like if there's a certain kind of energy that doesn't resonate for me, I could tell the trajectory is going another way. I may not see any kind of uh, movement on my own to make a change in that regard or anything. It just seems like circumstances align in that way, and then we're just not meeting anymore. And I'm like, I'm always seeing stuff like that, and it's just so awesome how we don't have to try to control any of it.
Right, isn't it basically our consciousness changes, things change, and then it's not resonant
Yes.
anymore.
Yes, that's right. Whatever you're attracted to. Now, I found myself unfriending a friend on Facebook today too.
Hmm.
Just wasn't vibing with the vibe, just wasn't
Right,
feeling the vibe.
right,
And then I didn't realize that the friend was going to find out that I unfriended them because it's just like not
right,
interact all the time. Uh,
right.
but and then there's an email, and it's a long email. I started to read it. I realized where it was going, so I just stopped reading the email. I just let him know, hey, it's not personal at all. You're perfect. You're awesome. It's just not for me right now, and I'm sure we're gonna meet again. And I love you. It's just like
Yeah,
really like no need to and I know I made her up, but there's nothing wrong. I'm just like, and I don't have any choice in it. It's like all of a sudden I'm watching this finger go and use a mouse and go unfriend.
right.
Right, right. And it's not like I have to make it for a particular reason. I don't have a particular reason. It's just the vibe isn't, that's not my vibe. That's not the vibe I'm into. I don't know. It's just like, that's not for me right now. Really simply like that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you, Cynthia. I love you. Yeah, so think of it as the as like energies meeting and alchemizing together as they need and then being drawn away.
Yes.
It's really a beautiful dance. And just like in watching as a beautiful dance and allowing yourself to be used however you need to be used in that dance.
Yeah, to be open and to flow.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really fun.
sure. I like flowing with you
I
and
love
your
it too.
peeps.
It's
I
my
know
peeps.
some of your peeps. I love your peeps too.
Yes, my peeps are really fun. They're really cool peeps to hang out with.
They are.
You guys are all awesome. All right. Thank you for joining. Do you have anything else?
Okay. No, that's it.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank
Aloha.
you.
Hui
Aloha.
hou.
Love you.
I love you. Okay. Hmm. Friends watching, a friend's talking about spreading darkness. Can you spread darkness? Well, it's kind of like you keep on convincing yourself over and over again that the dark that you think you perceive is actually there, especially when you teach that to other people. That's a big thing. You know, in the Bible, it says something about, if I have a Bible person on here, maybe they'll let me know what it is. It says something about um, causing the innocent to stumble and fall. And that's basically what we do with all of the children, because they learn from us that this world is the truth, and how that condemns you when you that condemns you double, or I don't know how they put it, how it's put in the Bible, but that condemns you more so than when you just convince yourself, because it is yourself, but it's like you're getting another witness to your delusion being the truth. So to your mind, it's kind of like, oh, you got more witnesses to the same thing. So it seems like it makes it seem like it's heavier to you. And that's basically what we're doing here. We all agreed to make this thing real, no matter the cost, because we thought that we were annihilated without this dream. And it's too scary to live in a dream knowing it's just a dream. So we had to convince ourselves that it's not a dream. That's what we're all doing. Whenever a new baby comes in, we're just conditioning the baby. We're basically causing the baby to fall. We're causing that awareness to fall into sin, into delusion, because we teach to our illusions being true. We can't help it because we believe our illusions are true. You know, it seems like, um, you know, if we let our baby, let's say, play on the roof, that could kill them. It really can't, because there's no roof. But, you know, I don't recommend people go ahead and let their baby play on the roof unless they totally have the faith for it. Yeah, you know, of course, you listen to your own guidance, not to me, but I'm just saying I don't recommend letting your babies on the roof. Okay. I'm just saying that, you know, these things that we make up, we get afraid they're running in the street or anything like that. They get conditioned with this belief that the world is real. So all we're doing is offering a little bit of willingness to see through what we already made, so it can kind of like do the unraveling process. That's what it's doing right now. It's doing the unraveling process. If you're finding yourself listening to wisdom dialogues, you are doing the unraveling process. That's what's going on here. So be happy about that. And when you seem to stumble, remember that that's where your greatest gifts come from. And then you'll see it that way. So, yeah. So what do you, so, you know, what do you do when you got a person who's apparently suicidal? All right, this is a question that's coming up. What do you do when you got a person, say someone in your family that's apparently suicidal? Um, you know, that's the same as any illusion anywhere. It just seems like it's more dense, it's more personal, it's more whatever. It just seems like it's more dense. In that seeming, that doesn't mean it has more power over you. It doesn't mean that. The feeling sense is just more intense, which is good because it gets you into awareness that you're feeling sense. You are being triggered. So, you really need to know when you're being triggered so you can recognize that that's not something that you would keep. You would not keep the circumstance that says that feels this way to you. It's not something you would keep. So you're open to seeing it another way. Okay, say you find the person, they got a knife, they're trying to cut their wrist at that time. Okay, you probably go, oh, holy shit, and find yourself like taking the knife out of their hand or whatever kind of play you see going on. But in your mind, as you're holding the person, you made them to be there cutting their wrists because you are hiding that kind of pain from yourself. You're hiding that deep pain from yourself. That's why you're projecting it in another person, seemingly related to you, seemingly cutting their wrist. So you need compassion. See, that's the thing. You need compassion in that moment for having that perception. She doesn't need to be saved by you, although you will not most likely find yourself trying to save her, and that's totally okay because remember, that's just a play. Okay. But in your mind, being aware that she doesn't need you to save her because nothing is really happening. This is all for you. It's all a play. Okay. It's all a play. It's all for you. Holding it lightly will allow it to be played out perfectly, and you'll feel like you're in alignment with everything you seem to say and do. Okay. To the extent that you will hold it lightly. You will hold all of this lightly. You will see through any kind of judgmental thoughts. Your willingness is going to allow you to do it, to see it like that. It's really all it is a seeing. Remember, it's all in the observations. Okay. Wanting to help, right? That wanting to help part, that's where you're getting hooked. You can be of no help in the way you think. The only way you can be of any help is getting relief for yourself. Okay. Yeah, it's a really fucked up situation that you made fucked up. Okay, because you wanted it to be like that because it's going to have maximal healing potential for you and your mom. Okay, it's going to have maximal healing potential. So it's like gratitude. Can you imagine you're walking in there and you see your mom and she's trying to cut her wrist and you're like, oh, thank you for doing that. Is there anything I can help you with? You need some water or, because we make it into something. That's how it becomes a big deal. We keep on making these things into something. It's not anything. My daughter's on here right now. Okay. I know she's got a funny story. It's something like, she told me and her dad she's gonna kill herself when she was a teenager. And I go, all right, go ahead and get the knife. She's like, damn it, you can't even let me have that. It's like, oh no, do you need some counseling? Or, like, okay, go ahead and get that thing. Or more recently, when I said, okay, but she said, Mom, something like, Mom, I'm going to drive off this cliff, if I remember correctly. And I go, okay, but you're just going to end up back here, right? She's like, shit. Do I really want to squeeze out of a cooch again? Right? But, these things pass when you'll take them lightly. They really do. They pass away. And then the person who's going through it can see that it's meaningless too. It doesn't really mean anything. It's not going to do anything. The sense that you're suffering doesn't go away by killing yourself. The sense that you're suffering gets resolved by going through it. You have to go through, you have to actually have to go through your suffering. I've heard it put like go through your suffering. And that's what I love to do. I love that. And I know there's still suffering to go through as long as I still get the perception of a body. And I especially know there's still suffering to go through because I can bring up pain in the body. A fully in alignment body is a light body. You can't even bring up pain. You can't even bring up pain by stabbing it, actually. So the fact that you could bring up pain shows that there's something there to be purified. Okay. So just like being alert for those kinds of things, because they're always popping up. And when you're alert about them and you'll look at them with that little bit of willingness, you start to see that the dream is very happy. It's a very beautiful, happy dream. Not because of the circumstances. People are like, oh, do you get everything you want? Yeah, I do get everything I want, but you might not look at it like that. You might like look at some things like maybe something that I wouldn't want. But even the things that seem like I don't want them, I want them because I could use them. Like debt is one of those things. Okay. So getting the perception that you're in debt, it's not good or bad. It's useful. Okay. If it's triggering, probably being in debt is going to be triggering and not the not being in debt part. But if it's triggering, it's because it's useful. Okay. And as long as it's useful, it's going to be the perception. So the thing about trying to get out of the perception, that's never going to help, because the perception is just going to come back again. Even if you perceivably find a way, some kind of solution to get yourself out of it, it's just going to come back again in another form of scarcity in some way. It may be scarcity in health, right? Maybe it might be health scarcity. Scarcity, that's all it is. It's just coming back around again and again and again. So the reason it's up whenever it's up is so that you can see through the illusion of it. And eventually we're going to see through the illusion that we need money at all, that money ever even bought us anything. Okay. We're going to see right through that, but we have to be willing to see. First, we have to be willing to see. Now, you guys who are coming on Wisdom Dialogues, you have that willingness already. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be listening to this. So it just comes down to, in the moment, the practice in the moment is always the same. And here's another thing. You don't even have to try, because this is unraveling for you. The more you'll see that you don't have to try, and this is unraveling for you, there's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to do. There's going to seem to be things you need to do as long as you think that you need to try to do something. But like right now, you don't even have a choice in whether you're listening to these words. And you're listening, and it will just manifest in a way that'll open you up to another level and another level and another level. The more you relax, the faster it's going to go. The more you don't put pressure on yourself to try to be something. Even, I love to talk about how block therapy seems so helpful, even though I know the blocks are a complete illusion. And all we're doing is accessing the mind. Okay. Even though you might think that, oh man, I need to get on those blocks. No, you don't. No one needs to do anything. If you get the perception of that, it's just the manifest playing out. That's all. Water can't quench your thirst. The sun can't make you hot. The wind can't make you cold. Does that mean you're supposed to stand out there shivering? I know for me, I get pretty sensitive to the cold. That doesn't mean I have to stand out there shivering because cold is an illusion. It's fun because I get my friends reflecting these things back to me. I'll be at a party or something and I'll be like, oh shit, I'm gonna go get my jacket. It's cold. Hope, it's just an illusion. I'm like, so is the jacket. The cold is the illusion. The body is the illusion. The jacket is the illusion. It's okay. That doesn't mean I can't go get a jacket. I'm supposed to pretend like this cold is fine with me. You know what? When it's going to be fine with me, when I can't have a jacket, that's when it's going to be fine with me. See, when there's a jacket available, then I can just go get a jacket. Then that's just naturally what occurs. Now, if I find myself in a situation where it's fucking cold and I don't have a jacket, that's going to be fine with me. That's how it works. See? Because I don't have a choice. It's either going to be fine with me or I'm going to be fucking complaining and having a terrible time, right? When there seems to be a jacket in my car and it seems more convenient to get the jacket out of the car, that's just, I don't have people to impress. So I don't have to stand there acting like I'm okay in the cold, because my teaching is that the cold is an illusion. Hi. It's so fun. Okay, we got the hand of Yvette. What's happening, Yvette?
Aloha, Hope.
Oh yeah, girl.
And
Aloha.
friends. I wanted to say, thank you for your laughter right now. It's hilarious watching, this condemning mind of mine. Woo-wee. I just did some yard work and it's hilarious. I have this apparent, work trader guy that's staying up in the front, Studio Ohana, and my perception is he's not doing, his hours. And so I'm out there and it's just hilarious.
Oh, that's great. That's a good one.
Just getting to see the pattern,
Yeah.
I'm super grateful that I can at least see the pattern. And it's literally coming around. Like, here it is, like, 7 months later, it's like, here's the same thing.
Yeah, here's the same thing again.
I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember, my partner, when you came over that one time and you're like, you don't know if you're going to get a TRO. Long story short, I did.
Yeah.
And we're totally cool now. And he's like, oh, so you're going to get a TRO on him?
Yeah. You're like, yeah, that's what I do.
I'm looking at him like,
my pattern.
I'm like, no, that's actually not what I'm going to do. He's like, hey, progress. Like, yes, some progress. And
That's
now I'm feeling drawn to just not to do my best to leave it alone. Nice. Right? Because you teach that, like, you don't have to do anything, but if you find yourself doing something, okay.
Yeah.
But it feels better to take a step back. So I keep doing that. Just chill out.
You gotta watch your mind, because you see how you're making these illusions over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't have to try to control your action at all. This is the hard part to get for the ego. It's like, because the ego thinks it's all about action. It thinks you are acting. You're not acting. You're not doing anything. You're watching a show.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets really tricky, because the ego will be like, well, if you do this, then this. And, it just like back off of all the manifestation. The thing is, you need relief in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in the moment. You just need relief. And what gives you the relief, that willingness to see that you're making this up, you're projecting a person like that again. You're seeing it now, because you're seeing the loops come around. And your willingness is so ridiculously healing, Yvette. You do not care what happens. True.
I know it's gonna be okay no matter what the heck happens.
Yeah, better than okay. This is your willingness to view things like this. You may not realize right now, but this is the path to salvation, and you're not far off because of the way you're willing to see right now.
Thank you.
Yeah. You probably feel it. You probably notice the shift.
Yes. Yes. And even dreams I'm having are really vivid. and just giving attention to that. And it's interesting because it feels like yesterday, I did a little dream work with some painting and whatnot, and it's in the past I used to be a therapist, and I stopped doing that. I don't even know, I think it's been 7 years now. But long story short, like, I've been rebelling, like being in a leadership position for all these years. And what the dream basically was saying is like, like the first word that came through was like magnificent, and then lead, like be a leader, like of love, be a leader of love.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And that's not something that you do. That's not like some purpose you have in the world. That's just your function.
Yes.
That's your natural function.
Yes.
Right?
And the message is like, for me, like lead, like, just keep coming back around to love. It feels a lot freaking better.
Yeah, it does. Everyone's your friend then. Who would you need a TRO against, right? But it's like, you see how you need to play it out when you need to play it out.
Yes.
Because that's how you get the lesson. Look how easy it is to see now.
Yes.
And look at and also look at, geez, I don't know if you notice in your perception, lots of people waking up in your perception, just kind of like how you're waking up in my perception right now.
Yeah.
But that's also a sign, because each one of us is the Christ of our world.
Yay!
Like we're gonna see everyone wake up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because they're not even sleeping. We're not even really sleeping. It's so weird. It's so freaking weird.
Yeah, it is.
We're not even really like actually capable. We call it a sleep because that's what we can relate to, right?
Yeah.
We're not really actually capable of going to sleep. And none of these people that we think we see are separate from reality. So we're just going to see the reality we gave them as this body that's on a trajectory toward death disappear, and we see them as they actually are.
Yes.
And they always have been. They had never changed.
I'm feeling that.
Me too.
I'm sensing it a lot more.
Totally. Yep. It's coming more clear. It's so fun. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It's such a gift,
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yay, Beth.
Let's go.
Yeah, you can raise your hand if you want to speak with me. If you're watching on Facebook Live, you can check the link on the post. I think it has a way for you to join Zoom there, and then you can talk to me. If you're commenting on Facebook, for some reason, all those comments don't come through. Last time I remembered after the show, there was some of the comments came through, but some of them didn't. So I only see a couple. So if you want to get on and ask a question, go to the link there that's above it. Thank you. No pressure, because there's nothing to do. You don't need to do anything because you're not capable of doing anything. When there seems to be a lot of things on your plate or overwhelm crops up, wonderful. That's just for helping you to see that you're making things real that aren't real. It's helping you see that you can relax in the midst of there seeming to be a demand on your energy. There's never really a demand on your energy coming from outside of yourself. The only demand on your energy is within yourself. That's the only way you can make yourself get any kind of a perception. Okay. It's never the circumstances that are demanding you. It's a mental trajectory of whatever you need. So if you sense yourself, like a lot of the times for me, I'll sense myself as if I'm in a mode of busy, where I'll be like sensing myself being really productive, like a productive kind of flow and productive kind of mode, which is fun. It's inspiring and it's fun. But as soon as the idea, and this what seems to occur whenever I get going on a workflow, as soon as the idea occurs to me that I'm overwhelmed or like I have too much stuff to do, that's where the practice comes in. Now I don't care about being productive anymore. It's not fun anymore. In that moment where I get the sense that I'm overwhelmed, being productive is not getting me anywhere. So in that moment, what needs my attention, that doesn't mean I have to stop working. Not that I have a choice in that or anything, but I don't have to perceive myself stopping working to stop mentally. Okay. To stop that trajectory of getting somewhere with something. Because as soon as an upset feeling like overwhelm arises, that means I've gone in the wrong direction. I made a wrong turn and I've condemned myself. So I need to come back to reality. Basically, that is a surrendering of what I've made of all the things that I think I need to do, my business, whatever, so that I can be present again in the moment. Whenever I'm upset, even if it's overwhelm, worry, frustration, even if something small, irritation, I know that I have thought against myself. And because of that, I don't have to try to do anything in the world. It's like, woo, not even carry on a conversation. I won't even carry on a conversation. When there's a trigger, I don't have to keep on trying to get a person to understand. One of them is trying to get a person to understand you. Like, say you're in a conversation and there's a trigger, all of a sudden you feel like you really need that person to understand you, right? Just watch it. Eventually you'll just back right off of that. Oh, I see that. That's that pattern of me trying to get understood. Or me trying to get approval. See? I was hanging out with one of my friends, and she felt like her mom didn't approve of her. So I was hanging out with her, and her and her mom have a telephone call in front of me. Her mom knows I'm there and everything. So they're just talking candidly in front of me. And I go, what's interesting that I perceived is your mom wants your approval. She's like, what? My mom wants my approval. And I go, yeah, this is what I see is happening. You're going, my mom's not giving me approval and feeling bad about it. Meanwhile, she wants your approval and you're disapproving of her non-approval. So after I left, my friend just spontaneously had a conversation with her mom where it came out that her mom just wants her approval. Her mom just wants the daughter's approval. And see, it's like, once you see that, the whole conflict breaks away, because the whole thing that's been holding this stuff together, the whole thing that's been holding this pattern together is the idea that the other person is affecting me. That person is affecting me. It's like looking at it like this. My mom is affecting me because she won't give me her approval. Well, what kind of effect am I having on my mom, though, to get that perception in the first place? Right? What kind of an effect am I having on her? How does she feel when she talks to me? It's like, it's kind of easier when you're a third party too, to just see. It's like, oh, your mom wants approval from you. So it's like, well, as soon as my friend was open to giving her mom approval, her mom actually told her, all I wanted was your approval. Holy crap. It's really a trip how long and lifetimes we play these games. And then you see how they just break up. The whole game breaks up in a minute, second, instant, whatever. Do you wonder if this is the same with you and your mom? Do you get the sense that that she doesn't approve of you? That's probably the case then. Do you approve of her not approving of you? See? Do you approve of her disapproval? Or is it always like, when's my mom gonna finally approve of me? How long am I gonna have to wait till I manifest the mom that approves of me? You hate her disapproval. Well, that'll fucking do it. Yeah, you hate her disapproval. Yes, that's exactly it. So the reason you can't be like, ah, when you get the perception, you know, that Niall said that was the case for him and his mother. Me too. Me too. It was the same way. It seemed like my mom thought I was a crazy person because of the things I was saying. And she didn't understand them or anything. And I was feeling shitty because my mom didn't understand me and wasn't approving of me. And then I realized I made my mom up. And once that happened, I understood and approved of my mom. And I just got the same reflection back. See? So, yeah, it's wonderful, Niall. You know, it's amazing because people love each other. So, you know, we love each other. We just have our wounds and we don't realize it's just our wounds. So we think that the other person is capable of being, let's say, a bad mom. When really we're holding them in a way that we're using them to attack ourselves. And that's why they seem like a bad mom. They'd be the best mom if you're not using them to attack yourself. Whatever they seem to be doing, they're just perfect. Even if that means you find yourself not communicating with them, that's great too. I have a sister that went through that with her sons. They both didn't communicate with her. Told her she was the worst mom. She did a shitty job raising them. And fuck you, mom. And my sister just sat with it. You know, she just sat with it. And, you know, she would sometimes have some hard times. Her and I would have a conversation. I'd let her know that they're only kidding. They're just kidding, right? And you got to let go of when are they going to come back? When are they going to come back around? All in perfect timing. All in perfect timing. All when you don't actually give a shit. Then they're really back. They're really back for good. Okay. So her sons just are so sweet to her now. Just so sweet. It's like their mom is their life. They're in a loving way, you know. And just with this sense like they appreciate their mom for all she went through raising them as a single mom and all that kind of stuff, and not holding stuff against her. And basically that comes down to just this forgiveness, this willingness to let people have their ideas about you, whether you interact with them or not isn't even your decision. But whether you're going to use your interaction for seeing is a choice that you're making. So when it's as if my mom doesn't approve of me, turn that around because you're projecting that. Do you approve? Do you approve of her? And you'll find out that you don't. You know what? Every time. If it's bothering you, you don't approve of her disapproval. If it's bothering you, why else would it be bothering you? You know, if you just approved of it, it wouldn't even be a thing. You probably wouldn't even bring it up, except to, you know, demonstrate that love is real. Only love is real. Because in the midst of perceiving that you have a mom that doesn't approve of her, that doesn't approve of you, you're willing to have peace. That's all. Yeah, how happy that you could see where you don't approve of her. See, that's where you need relief. That's where you need to have relief. Because your disapproval is really disapproval of yourself. So then you're projecting it toward your mom so you can hold her responsible for making you feel like that. So it's really, the feeling is really coming from you. All relationships healed, no problem. So easy. All right, I think we got it covered. I never saw it this way before. Yay. I love it when we have new openings. It's so fun. It's fun to see that. So that's exciting because you have some more interactions with her and you'll see them playing out and you'll be able to notice and just have a good time with it. Have a good time exploring it. Yay. You're going to Maine? You're going to go see your mom? Sweet. Oh, that's going to be great. I love it. So look for how you can find approval of her. Look for it. You'll see. You're just willing. Just willing, you'll see. Yeah, you're looking forward to it now. Good. Yeah. And when she reflects your disapproval, you know the only response that's appropriate, right? Anne knows. Yay, she knows. Thank you. Yes. Yep. Yeah. And thank you. You know, for your mom, that extension of gratitude is going to be really healing, whether you say the words thank you or not. But say she says something like, and I'm just coming off something. Lori, you know, it's really disappointing how you let that fucking guy scam you and ruin your whole life. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for letting me know that. I love you. See? Really that simple. Or, Lori, you're a really fat fuck. You should probably stop eating all those ding dongs. You're like, thanks. It's a good suggestion. You know, just like whatever. She loves it. Niall says, I think I want to give my mom more room to piss me off so I can love her more. You don't have to do that, Niall, okay? Your lessons are coming. Don't be getting greedy, okay? Do some block therapy. Leave your mom alone. God, she says okay. It's like, you know what? Don't worry. There's no shortage of pain coming. Okay. And you know what? That's the thing. We get to the point where we love it. It's not even really pain anymore when you see it that way. It's not even really pain anymore. We don't have to go out and like try to get pain. I mean, unless you're doing block therapy, you are looking for it in that sense. But we don't have to go out and try to get conflicts with people or anything like that. It's coming. It really is. It's coming. You know, so you could look for the fun and everything, because the painful stuff, it's just like bubbling up. You're gonna have to see through all of it. The reason I say block therapy is like a shortcut is because it teaches you how to sit still with the sensation, because you're actually practicing sitting still with a physical sensation that may be intense. Okay, so that's why it's like a practice of that, so that you can see in the moment, oh, I don't have to make this an issue for me. I have complete control over my internal environment all the time. That's why you have dominion over the world, because it is coming from the internal environment projected outward. So you have complete control over that. The inner field, meaning the way you can say your attitude with it. That's really what it is. Your attitude with whatever it is that's being perceived. Where there's gratitude, there's awareness of the dominion that you have. So it's like looking toward gratitude, even just recognizing this is deserving of gratitude, whatever it is, someone acting disappointed with you, whatever, this is deserving of gratitude. It's always like, thank you. Let that be the expression. I was talking about, oh, I guess I haven't posted it yet from Friday. I was talking about stuff like that on Friday, like as far as, someone just saying, you're this and you're that. And hey, when you're like, thank you for letting me know, there's nothing else to talk about there. There's no debate. I don't like to get into debates. That's not my thing at all. And, a lot of times when I post something, especially on my personal Facebook page, people like to try to come on there and debate me. And, they'll make a comment or something, I was doing something. What was it about today? It was about food. No food could be healthy or unhealthy. So someone got really mad or something. It looked like it. And there's like a big old long comment about how wrong I am and toxic and all this other stuff. And, and it's like, and it's like, I just feel so thankful. I'm just like, oh, thanks, and then I go, oh, well, you're really committed to that. Thank you for letting me know. There's just nothing to talk about there. If you're really committed to illusions being true, then that doesn't involve me. I'm not interested in that. I don't need to rip your freaking reality that you propped up apart. I don't need to do that. That's not my job. Another thing we get is this savior type thing where we're trying to save people from the reality that they want to hold in place right now. That's what the casting your pearls before swine is. It's like, if they reflect to me that they're perfectly happy with their, they reflect to me that they're suffering in their fake happiness or whatever, it's fine. They reflect to me that they want to keep that, they can keep it. That does not threaten me one bit. They can keep any illusion. I don't care if they're someone who lives in my house or whatever. They can keep, if they are that committed to it, they can keep that illusion. I am not interested in that kind of energy where people want to do their debating and stuff like that. There's energy for people who are interested and eager to learn. There is not any energy, that's ego energy. I could just sense it, to try to turn people from the reality that they want to make real. Okay, I'm not trying to change anyone, and that's I bring that up because that's one of the things that people run into with getting in conflict with people, because it seems like they need you to change them because they're headed toward disaster. It may be truth. I mean, they may be headed for disaster, meaning emotional turmoil. That's really the only kind of disaster you're going to have. It's like some emotional turmoil. They may be headed for emotional turmoil, but if they are, and that's what they need, if they're not eager to learn something new, if they're not eager, if they don't have an appetite for it and all they're doing is defending against it, if they're arguing with you, they're defending against it. You don't need to join in that. You can't join in that. All you'd be doing is projecting with them. See, I remember the days when it seemed like I needed to argue with people, like I needed to prove a point or something. And you might find yourself in arguing with people too. Just notice how it feels, how your energy field fluctuates when you cross that threshold where now you're in conflict with a person, because then conflict really becomes your teaching, doesn't it? That's not the truth. See, when you demonstrate that the world is an illusion, that this world is make believe, you're never in conflict. You're never in a conflict with someone. You're nothing short of gratitude in those moments. Okay. So hooray, everyone. Does anyone else have any more questions? Because if not, I am feeling quite complete. Looks good. All right, I'll be back on Friday, Hawaiian Sanctuary. I'll be back here online next Monday. HopeJohnson.org is where you can find my recordings. You could also donate to me there. And what else? I think you can email me. I might need to fix that. So hopejohnson@me.com to email me. Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson is my Facebook page. Don't post too much there, but I do post the group, which is where this video is going, and that is Wisdom Dialogues Online. It's called Wisdom Dialogues Online. It's a group. Also, Awesome Hope Johnson on Instagram, Awesome Hope Johnson on The Pattern, Awakening with Hope on Telegram. I'm all over the fucking place. And if you want to join my newsletter, Miracle Botanicals, I'm writing my newsletters, and they're really good, if I do say so myself. Yeah, lots of people have been reflecting that back. Thank you for doing your newsletters, because your newsletters are fucking awesome now. So if you want to sign up for that, go to miraclebotanicals.com and you should see a pop-up. If you don't, scroll to the bottom of the page, sign up for my newsletter, and I look forward to communicating with you because it is so much freaking fun. If you want me to post the in-person one, oh, right. Thank you, Lori. I know. It's so easy to do. It's just so funny. I already emailed it to myself, so probably after I get off here, I'll do it. Thank you. I appreciate the offer. Thanks so much. All right, you guys. Until next time, mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho.